Hi everybody. Today I'm going to walk you through the extension piece of the table printer that uses Paperclip to grab the data off the clipboard. If we take a look at the assignments one, we've got a sample set of data that would work. So this is data that I pulled off of the Oregon State website. It has information about operating costs for Riverdale School District from 1999 to 2009. And what we want to be able to do is copy that, run our program, and have it print out just like it did with the sample data that was up here, right? So obviously we've got some work. It's separated by commas and the lines are separated by lines. So we need to turn those into a list of lists. So I'm going to hop back into Visual Studio Code here, and we're going to get working on that. I'll toss some previous work I was doing, and I'll toss that. So what we want to be able to do is import Paperclip. First off, let's go ahead and run this so we get our column back. We see how this worked. And then if from this terminal, usually you can do it from here or you can do it from the command line. The book had instructions for how to install Paperclip. So I'd do pip3 install Paperclip. And I've already installed it, so it just says the requirements are already satisfied. And then I know I'm ready to go. So at the top of my program, I would type import Paperclip. Super useful tool. The clipboard is a really easy, intuitive way or automatic way these days of bringing data, moving data around in the computer. So a great tool to use. If I take a look at where I'm at here, I'm going to go ahead and comment out that print table one, and I'm going to start just by trying the paste function. So Paperclip has two basic functions, copy and paste. So I'm going to say pasted data equals paperclip.paste, and then I'm going to print pasted data and make sure we've got what we want. As a test, I'm going to put this in and say I copied this. Select that, Command C to copy, and I will run it. And it prints out I copied this, so we know we're getting from the clipboard the data that we want. Now if I go ahead and hop back over to the main item here, the assignment, I can grab the data that I provided as a sample, come back to Visual Studio Code, and run it again. I don't change my program at all, and it prints that data out. Okay. Now that I have the data, what I need to do is convert it into lists like this, a list of lists. Each line should be one of the sublists, and each item in the line should be an item in that list. So to do that, I use two main functions, split lines and split. So pasted lines is going to equal pasted data dot split lines, and I'll print pasted lines, and I'm going to get rid of this print so it doesn't mess me up. Copy and paste that, and oh, I did not get a final parenthesis on that one. So we'll try again. There we go. So you'll see that we've got the brackets there that tell us that. And if we want to do it more clearly, I could do for line in pasted lines, and then I would print the line. Okay. So each one has its own row. It looks good. This first one obviously wraps a bit, so that's a little bit of a problem. There we go. That cleans it up a little bit. And so if now I want to move it so that it goes into my data. So I'm going to clear out my data. And for each line in there, I want to line data equals my data dot split on the comma. Okay. And I'm just going to print the line data on that because each one should now be a list. So I run that, and I see that I'm getting the pieces line.split. That's the problem that I ran into. And each one is a list of items. That looks good. So what I want to do instead of printing it is I want to do mydata.append the line data, and it doesn't print anything because I didn't tell it to. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to print my data so I can see what I'm getting. And it looks kind of like what I want. I've got these double square brackets here at the end of, move this window aside so I can see a little better. At the end of the header row here, I've got another bracket, and the next one starts there. That looks like what I want. So now all I have to do is put in this print table my data back in. I'm going to get rid of the print my data because I know it gave me what I wanted. I'm going to run that. And while I certainly don't have room for it all, I do have all of the pieces. So let's try something a little bit smaller so that I can actually tell what's going on, because this gets a little bit messed up here, right? District ID 2188, because each column has to match the full width of the longest item. It's taking up a lot of space. So I'm going to go find some different data that might work a little better for me. A great place to get mocked up data is from a site called makaroo.com. And this just there's all kinds of stuff that you can get here. If I choose the gender one, I can see that there's all kinds of stuff you can get. Buzzwords and animal scientific names and carve-ins and all kinds of stuff. I don't really care about that. I just want to preview some CSV data so that I can copy that out. Command C to copy. And I might have gone a little too far, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to run this again. If I go to the bottom, still is taking up a lot of space because those emails are filling it up. I feel like I'm printing something I shouldn't, but I don't think I am. So I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. Close, and I'm going to get rid of the email address and the IP address. And I'll preview that data in CSV format. Trash this so I can see everything. There we go. Right, let's do it with just a few lines. The problem being that it goes sideways. It's not necessarily a great way to print data. I think I forgot to copy that. Command C. There we go. That looks much cleaner. ID, first name, June, Moira, Nellie, Alaric. Last name, Tamblinson, Avrahamov, Carly 1, I think. Anyway, there it is. So now it's pulling from the information in the clipboard to print that table in that format. This is obviously a format that would only work for certain amounts of data, certain kinds of data that would be of any use. If I go back to our table printer and I print just a few, take just a few rows, this might actually work a little better. Trash that. We'll do a sample of that. There we go. So district, county, operating cost per student. Okay. Year 99, 2000, 2001. So that looks nice and clean. So that is how you use Paperclip. We want to make sure that we import it. We paste that data into a variable, and then we can do whatever we want with it. In this case, what we do is we split the lines into a list, And then for each line in that one, we split it into a sublist around the comma, and we add it to our original data list that we've cleared out here, and then we run the print table on that. And that is how we get our very limited print table function to be much more flexible, in that now it's an easy way to get data in from somewhere else. Thanks, guys.